In our last episode, we ventured into Dustman's cairn in order to retrieve a fragment of Wuthrad, a legendary weapon that belonged to the founder of the Companions. With Farkas as our shield brother, we fought our way through waves of Draugr, only to make a shocking discovery later on in the quest.
Never should have come here. You won't leave here alive.
It's a blessing given to some of us. We can be like wild beasts, fearsome. Only the Circle have the beast blood. Prove your honor to be a companion. Eyes on the prey, not the horizon.
The group that ambushed Farkas is known as the Silver Hand, a radical organization dedicated to the extermination of werewolves. Though the Silver Hand put up a good fight, we managed to find the Wuthrad fragment and bring it back to Whiterun, at which point we were officially inducted into the Companions. This is where our story continues. Ah, Skjor, there you are.
You still need to prove yourself, whelp.
I'm looking for work. Do you have anything that needs to get done?
Hoffingar seems to have trouble keeping their prisoners in line. One of them's escaped, and you're going to find that coward. At this point, they don't care what happens to her, and neither do I. Best to just kill her and be done with it.
Wow, that seems a little harsh, but alright, Skjor, I'll take care of it.
Be careful. This woman is known to be dangerous.
This starts the quest, Escaped Criminal. I find it a bit strange how the Companions frequently ask us to run errands like this without providing any context whatsoever. Why do we have to go beat someone up in the Bannered Mare in Part 1? And why now do we have to go kill an escaped criminal? I understand that the Companions are the defenders of Skyrim, but just a little bit of context would have been nice. Before we depart, we can stop by Yorlin's forge and see if he can make us a new weapon like Kodlak said he would.
Got a lot of steel to shape.
I was told that you could make me a new weapon.
Yes, lad. You've been raised into the Companions, I hear. I can fashion whatever kind of weapon you want. Finest forge in Skyrim, right here before you.
We can then choose which type of weapon we want Yorlin to make for us. Let's see, a sword, a dagger, a battle axe, a greatsword. Ah, okay, here we go. I'll take a war axe, please, Yorland.
Now that's a smart weapon. Light, strong, useful. Crack some skulls for me.
Yorland gives us the Skyforged Steel War Axe, which sadly isn't as impressive as I had hoped it would be. Don't get me wrong, 45 damage certainly isn't bad, but for this mission I think I'll stick to my trusty Dragonbone sword. Thanks anyway, Yorland. Taking a look at the map, we notice that the escaped criminal is located to the northwest of Whiterun, just in between Solitude Sawmill and Katla's farm. After fast traveling to Solitude Sawmill, we see on our compass that the escaped criminal is quickly closing in on our position. Walking north along the dirt path, there he is. Quick, let's hide behind this tree. Wait for it. Wait for it. Now!
Now ain't this a surprise? I've had enough of you! Do your worst!
The criminal doesn't put up much of a fight, and once he's dead, we can go ahead and loot his body. Out of curiosity, I decided to reload a previous save to see if we could speak to the criminal before killing him, and possibly get his side of the story. Unfortunately, this was a woman of few words.
Need something? What was that? That's all you've got?
With the criminal dead, we can return to Jorvisker and let Skjor know that the deed is done.
Bit by bit, we bring honor to this land, and you've brought honor to the Companions. More importantly, some gold.
For completing the quest, we are rewarded with 300 gold, which in my opinion was a pretty sizable payment for simply intercepting an escaped criminal. But as Skjor begins to walk away, we rush back over to him, eager to set out on yet another adventure. Skjor, wait up!
Ah, there you are.
Anything else I can do?
Yes, I have something special for you. But it's not for everyone to hear. Meet me in the underforge tonight. We will speak more.
This starts the quest, The Silver Hand. The underforge? Where is that?
I forget that you've never seen it. Beneath the Skyforge, where Eorland works. The door is hidden, but I will show you the way.
Okay, you've piqued my interest. I'll meet you there. So, Skjor, I'd love to hear your take on this one. What does it mean exactly to be a companion?
I wish more of our ranks asked such questions. I've started seeing the companions as a kind of family. I've battled next to every man and woman here, and the bonds of sweat are stronger than those of blood. I would trust anyone here with my life, which is more than I'd say for the milk drinkers who raised me.
With that, we can go out back behind Jorvisker and wait 3 hours until midnight, at which point we find Skjor waiting for us nearby to the steps leading up to Jorlin's forge.
Are you prepared?
What is this place?
Here's all you need to know. Jorvisker is the oldest building in Whiterun. The Skyforge was here long before it was. And the underforge taps an ancient magic that is older than men or elves. We bring you here to make you stronger, new blood. Now let's move.
Something tells me they're not taking me here to give me some kind of powerful sword or magic bow. What on earth does Skjor have in mind? Skjor enters the underforge through a hidden doorway carved into the stone. Reluctantly, we follow him inside.
I'm glad you came. It's been a long time since we had a heart like yours among our numbers. That pitiful ceremony behind the hall does not befit warriors like us. You are due more honor than some calls and feasting. I would hope you recognize Aela, even in this form. She's agreed to be your forebear. We do this in secret because Kodlak is too busy trying to throw away this great gift we've been granted. He thinks we've been cursed, but we've been blessed. How can something that gives this kind of prowess be a curse? So we take matters into our own hands. To reach the heights of the Companions, you must join with us in the shared blood of the wolf.
Are you prepared to join your spirit with the beast world, friend?
It's really nice of you to offer, Skjor, but what if I don't want to become a werewolf?
That is your choice. We will not force you. But to join the circle, your blood must be as ours. Meet us here when you're ready.
On second thought, I guess it would be pretty cool to be part of the circle. Alright, Skjor, you won me over. Let's get on with it.
Very well.
Ew, that looked painful. What? You want me to... I hope I don't regret this. After the ritual is complete, we reappear just outside of the Underforge, trapped in the body of a werewolf. If we run down to the Gildergreen tree, the Whiterun guards become hostile and start to attack. I'm feeling a little dizzy. Everything is going dark.
Are you awake? I was starting to think you might never come back. Yours was not an easy transformation, but you're still alive, so congratulations. We even have a celebration planned for you. There's a pack of werewolf hunters camped nearby, at Gallows Rock. The Silver Hand. I think you've met them before. We're going to slaughter them. All of them. Lead on. Skjor's already scouting ahead.
My head. I have so many questions. What just happened?
You were born into the pack, brother. I almost envy you. That first time is always the most intense. You gave us even more trouble than Farkas did at his first turning.
What does it mean to be a werewolf?
Nothing until you choose to use it. Then, well, you got a taste. Stronger, faster. It doesn't last long, though. The blood of your foes can sustain you, if you're willing to feed. The more we feed, the greater our prowess will grow. We could perhaps discover even more gifts of Hircine.
Well, hypothetically speaking, if I didn't want to be a werewolf anymore, there is a cure, right?
Cure? Ha! You're sounding like the old man. I shouldn't say that. I love Kodlak. I respect and follow him, but he's wrong on this. It's no curse. We're made into the greatest hunters in the land. If he's worried about some mead-swilling afterlife in Sovngarde, he's free to pursue it. I'll take the glories of the hunt right here.
Alright, well, where are we going?
The Silver Hand have taken over the old fort at Gallows Rock. They always make such easy prey.
The Silver Hand are murderers. They deserve everything that's coming.
All right, then.
Looking to the west, we notice that we're already at Gallows Rock. Aela must have taken us here while we were passed out. As we approach, we notice a rather disturbing sight at the entrance of the fort. 2 werewolf heads stuck on a couple of pikes. These people are barbaric, completely and utterly insane. Suddenly, we get rushed by a Silver Hand fighter.
What was that? Get him! Kill him!
After striking her down, we can charge into the fort and take out 2 more on an upper level. It looks like that was all of them, at least for now. Outside of this large tower, we don't find very much other than a small shelter and a wooden barrel. But circling around the tower and heading inside, we can pick an adept-locked chest for some minor loot. Heading back down the ramp to the ground level, we can turn left and approach the entrance into the gallows. Here we find more werewolf heads, the butchered remains of people with a truly unique ability. People who lost their lives simply because they were unnatural. When we're ready, we can head through the door into the gallows. We find more werewolf heads inside, and this time Aela has something to say about it.
Look at this. Cowards must have locked the place down after Skjor charged in. You can taste the fear.
Wait a minute, Skjor charged in here? Alone? Why would he do that? Oh gosh, I hope he's okay. Next to one of the bloody pikes is a chain hanging from the wall. Pulling it opens a gate just ahead, allowing us to continue forward. After making our way down some old and crumbling steps, we can turn left and take out 2 more Silver Hand.
Is someone here?
Once their bodies are looted, we can have a quick look around. There's a roaring fire in the center of the room beneath a skewer cooking on a spit. Looks like we interrupted their dinner plans. Next to the fire is an unlocked chest, and lying just outside of the chest is an iron sword and shield. It's then that we notice that this room has multiple doors for us to open. One to the south, another to the west, and to the east. Oh my, what is that? Taking a closer look, we see that it's a dead werewolf hanging from a wooden beam on the ceiling.
There's a dead one, isn't there? Thought so. Nobody we know by the smell. Some can't separate the animal from themselves, go feral. This poor sod could have been anyone. We should keep moving.
If we go to loot the werewolf's body, we are given the option to take some human flesh and a wolf pelt. A stark reminder that these fearsome-looking creatures are just as human as they are beast. On a small tray next to the werewolf is a set of torture tools. We read about how the Silver Hand performs gruesome experiments on werewolves in our last episode, and I fear that this particular werewolf had a similar fate. Heading back out into the main room and then passing through the door to the south, we can follow a dark and musty hallway until...
No surprise they keep burning.
Stupid skeevers. Along the eastern wall, we find a dinner table. Good to know that rats aren't the only thing on the menu in this place. After climbing up some stairs, we once again have to defend ourselves against even more of these deplorable werewolf hunters.
Victory is yours! I submit!
One of the attackers runs away like the coward that she is, sidestepping a pressure plate that I was secretly hoping one of the Silver Hand would step on. We charge forward and finish the job.
No more!
And good riddance. As we scan the area and get a sense of our surroundings, we realize that we're in a room that the Silver Hand is using to detain their captive test subjects.
Nothing we can do for these ones now. Don't even want to think about what those cretins did to them before they died.
You're probably right, Aela. They're probably safer behind those bars right now anyway. But then again, I'm not sure if I would be able to live with myself if I didn't at least try to save them. No, leaving them behind would be wrong. We have to do something, Aela. Watch my back while I pick the lock. It left us no choice. The werewolf, likely driven insane from weeks of torture and experiments, attacks us without remorse. I'd like to think that we put it out of its misery. At least now it can find some peace. Heading west down some stairs, we pass by a door on our right that we'll come back to in just a moment. The hallway ends with a large pile of rubble blocking the path. Looks like some poor fellow was standing in the wrong place at the wrong time when the ceiling collapsed. I suppose he won't be needing this gold anymore. Backtracking now and heading through the wooden door we just passed, we find ourselves in a multi-level chamber with more Silverhand waiting for us.
Come here. That the best you can do? Close. Enough. I cannot best you.
Look at them run. Such cowards.
We are routed. Pull back. Victory is yours. I submit.
After serving up some sweet, sweet justice to these barbarians, we can have a look around the room, starting from the door we entered in through. On a table resting at the foot of one of the two staircases, we find some tools, specifically an axe and some leather strips. Good to know the Silverhand enjoys other recreational activities other than killing werewolves for sport. Heading up the stairs and making our way over to the eastern wall, we find yet another disturbing sight. An Imperial lying dead on top of a table. Next to her is an iron dagger, painting a clear picture of what happened here. This Imperial was likely a werewolf that was captured in her true form, tortured, and then killed. We learned in the previous episode that the Silverhand had been rounding up Imperial test subjects in Cyrodiil, so it makes sense that we find an Imperial here in Gallows Rock. Heading back down the stairs, we can travel north into some kind of storage room. Here we find two chests, one of which is unlocked and the other is locked with a master lock. However, if we manage to open it, we are rewarded with the Amulet of Zenithar, which makes prices 10% better. Also in this chest is an ebony mace, which deals a rather significant amount of damage and is valued at 1,000 gold. After returning to the main room and going up the stairs for a second time, yes, my exploration wasn't particularly organized here, we can travel west from the dead Imperial and then turn right into a rather cozy looking room. There's a stone fireplace in the corner, a steak and a bottle of mead all set up on a table. Heck, if this were an inn, I'd pay money to stay here. There is also an adept-locked door to the north, on the other side of which is a bedroom with some loot on top of a dresser, an unlocked chest, and some more loot on a makeshift nightstand. Heading back into the main room, we can start to travel down some stairs to the west, when...
We're getting close now. Be careful. Their leader is a tricky one. They call him the Skinner. I don't think I need to tell you why.
The Skinner, huh? I think we can handle him. Passing through a wooden door just up ahead, we step into a large circular chamber with moss hanging down from the ceiling. It is here that the final battle of Gallows Rock begins.
What was that?
Did you hear something?
Time to never should have come here.
Lucky hit!
Mercy!
Ah, bastard! That's your back!
After defeating the Skinner and his ilk, we notice that something has drawn Aela's attention. Stepping closer, we see that... No, it can't be.
The bastards! Somehow they managed to kill Skjor. He was one of the strongest we had, but numbers can overwhelm. He should not have come without a shield brother. Get out of here. I'm going to make sure we got the last of them, and see if there's any information to be gotten from the bodies. You and I have work to do. The Silver Hand will tremble at our sight.
Indeed they will. Skjor must be avenged. What's our first target?
Good that you're so eager. I've caught wind that one of the Brighter Silver Hand has been sniffing around Hjalmarch. If you can sneak into their camp and steal her plans, we'll have the advantage.
Consider it done.
I'm gonna find whoever did this.
I decided to check Skjor's body to see whether or not there were any clues that might give us some context surrounding his death, but sadly all we find are his Skyforge weapons and the clothes on his back. Looting these items would be disrespectful to our fallen brother, so we'll leave them behind and carry on. Rest in peace, Skjor. Along the northern wall we find yet another horrific sight. A werewolf lying in a pool of blood, with more severed heads stuck on pikes and displayed on the wall like trophies. Nearby is an unlocked chest with a glass sword and some gold, and next to it a small table with bloody skulls. I don't even want to know why the Silver Hand has these lying around. Entering a hallway to the east, we find some bones tucked away behind a fire pit. On a shelf above the fire pit is a steel war axe and an iron helmet. And to the right of the fire pit is some banded iron armor and a knapsack. Unfortunately, I only noticed the knapsack in post-production, so I'm still not quite sure what was inside of it. But if you know, tell me about it in the comments. Heading east, we can pass through a door and return to the first chamber we found ourselves in after entering Gallows Rock.
Huh?
Whoa, where did you come from?
Victory is yours. I submit. Damn you! No!
After looting a potion and some leather straps from a table in the corner of the room, we can travel west and then take a right, head up some stairs, and step back outside. The battle plans that Aela wants us to recover are inside of a location not far from Crabber's Shanty called Orotheim. The quickest way to get there is to simply fast travel to Crabber's Shanty and then continue on foot. As usual, I had some trouble finding this place even though I was using the objective marker on my compass, but after taking a leap of faith over a river and climbing up a small hill, we finally arrive at the entrance to Orotheim. At first glance, it appears to be nothing more than a cave, but judging by the decaying bodies we find stuck on wooden pikes, I'd say we're in the right place. The Silver Hand is close by, no doubt. We're forced to draw our weapon immediately upon entering. This one is for you, Skjor. This one is for you.
We are...
That's the best you can do. By Eastmere, you'll pay for that.
The Silver Hand leader runs away and cowers in a corner. To finish him off, we can...
Where are you? Found you!
While in werewolf form, we can feed on the bodies of our enemies. The more we feed, the longer we can go without transforming back into a human. Sadly, however, we couldn't interact with anything as a werewolf, which was problematic in our case because the plans we needed to retrieve were stored away inside of a chest. Our only option was to wait a couple of hours and then return to our true form. Inside the chest, we find exactly what we were looking for. The battle plans, officially called the Silver Hand Stratagem. I tried to see if we could interact with the stratagem and read it similar to how we read books and notes in this game, but sadly we can't do anything with it. This is unfortunate. I was really looking forward to learning what the Silver Hand was planning for their next attack. On the wall next to the chest, we find a chain, which likely opens a hidden door here to the south. We'll come back to this in a moment, but first we can have a look around. On a table to the north is a steel war axe and a satchel containing some minor loot, and on the opposite end of the table we find a coin purse and a glass sword. Orotheim is a relatively small cave, so there's only so much loot that Bethesda could fit in here. Of interest, we find a coin purse on the ground next to a weapons rack, a potion on a table surrounded by several bottles of booze, a glass dagger resting beside a severed mammoth snout, ew, and some minor loot inside of a satchel on a small candlelit table. With that, we can return to the room where we found the battle plans and pull the chain hanging on the wall, which allows us to walk right back into the room we started out in. Yes, I know I could have just gone back the way I came because of how small Orotheim is, but come on. Who doesn't love going through a secret passageway? Once we're back outside, we can fast travel to Whiterun and find Aela waiting for us in Jorrviskr.
I've been running interference for you around here. I don't think anyone's caught on to our little campaign. Yet.
Oh, so the others don't know that we've been launching attacks on the Silverhand? That's interesting. I'm not sure I understand why we have to keep it from them, though. Anyway, I've got the plans.
Perfect. Hopefully this will let us know more about their movement. I think we've got them on the run.
So what's next, Aela?
The Silver Hand has been scouring the world for more pieces of Wuthrad. One group is hidden out in the Rift. Get it back, for the honor of us all.
This starts the quest simply titled Retrieval. Unfortunately, we're out of time for today, but fear not, everybody. We'll pick up right where we left off in tomorrow's episode. I find it interesting how, for the companions, the internal conflicts are just as big of a threat, if not more of a threat, than their ongoing external conflicts. The Silverhand is a nasty, vicious organization, but I fear that it's the internal struggles that will lead to the companions' unraveling, if such an unraveling were to ever occur in the first place. Aela is leading these attacks on the Silverhand in secret. The Circle is performing rituals inside the underforge and purposefully hiding them from Kodlak. Aela and the others view their abilities as a blessing, while Kodlak views them as a curse. All of these things may be leading up to the perfect storm, and I predict that if the companions were to ever fall apart, it would be from within. Perhaps their biggest problem is that there's no real leadership, no one to keep the group working as a team with shared values and beliefs. Instead, everyone is just kind of doing their own thing, and that, I think, is the companions' biggest downfall. Perhaps if someone was in charge, Skjor would still be alive today. But I'd love to know what you think, folks. What are your thoughts on this secret campaign Aela is waging against the Silver Hand? Do you agree with me when I say that the companions have a lot of internal problems that they need to address? And what are your predictions for the upcoming episodes following the companions' questline? Let me know in the comments below. I post new videos on Skyrim every single Thursday and Friday, folks, so be sure to subscribe to my channel to stay up to date on all of my latest content. If you're an entertainment junkie like I am, then you might like my brand new podcast, Past the Veal, where we discuss everything from upcoming video games to movies and television shows. I post video versions of the podcast right here on my YouTube channel every Sunday night at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, so be sure to check that out as well. But that's all for now, folks. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time for Part 4.